actually our third Bronco, but our first build. So we're gonna, today we're gonna crank it. Bought it, it was in a barn since 1990s, and we picked it up in Tampa, Florida. This is during the coronavirus, so we don't have anything else to do, so I'm trying to pass down some knowledge to my daughters. If I'm going to teach my girls anything, I have to do it when they're quarantined and they have to stay at the house, and I have to keep them in my shop. I don't know what he was thinking. He covered the seats in cloth. It's pretty bad. I don't get it, but we can remedy that. There's no issue. The floorboards have got a lot of fiberglass repairs in it. We'll see what I do with that. I can fix that with no problem. We can cut it out, weld it up. But right now, I think the biggest thing is get it running and see what it's worth. See if we can sell it. Well, we have two more Broncos to build. We have another 66 and a 70. So the 70, the red Bronco there runs. We got it out of Dahlonega, Georgia. And the other 66 is a U14. Those are for another day. But we come around here, look at the back, and give them another view of the back. So, again, he hid some stuff. I can feel some of it. There's some fiberglass in it. It's not too bad. So, but the bed, it's got a little bit of fiberglass down in the corners. Had one little rust hole there, and you could tell he covered it. But honestly, for the Broncos and what I've seen, this Bronco is actually really, really solid. This is a U15 truck. This bulkhead doesn't go with it. He was going to change it to a half cab, and I'm going to save it for that other 66. Oh, come here, show them this. The half cab blew apart coming back from Tampa. It opened up like a can going down the highway. That was pretty funny. So, anywho. Under the hood, 6-cylinder. Yeah, it's pretty, kind of rough looking. But he said it ran. He said his father ran it, and his father passed away, and I think he said 91 or 92, and that was one of the last times it ran. What we're gonna do today, I'm gonna show my girls how to check for fire, check for fuel, which I doubt we're gonna get fuel. We'll cheat that, but we'll see what we have, what we can move from. I'm gonna let my girls disassemble this. I'm gonna show them what I would do if I wanted to see if the engine had any life left in it. So I guess what we'll do first is we're going to check just the major fluids. Let me get, you need a rag? There you go. How's it look? Is it black? Is it full?
Well, I don't have my glasses on, so I can't really tell you, but...
Okay. Well, actually, it looks really good. Not sure so it's that, but yeah, it's full, it's clear, it's not black. What I would look for in an old engine, if it was milky, if it had a gray color, if it was gray, that means it had water in it. So we're actually full of oil, that's good. Well, I'm doing the work. I want you guys to do the work. All right, Madison. Come here. Presley, come over here. Actually, I'll just let Presley because she can look over in it. Pull your cap. I already got it undone, but you can look. Do you see any fluid in there?
No. It's too dark. We can't see.
Yeah, I don't either. No, there's none in there. That's okay. You know, if we do crank it, it's not going to run long. I just want to see if it does crank. So, right. Well,
needs a battery.
Yeah, it does need a battery. Yeah. So let's get a battery for it.
Battery in.
Yep. We got this out of our camper, so.
What?
Yeah, I'll just borrow it just for a minute.
What? Our camper.
Okay, now, on a battery, you have, like you said, minus sign, which means negative, and the plus means what? What do you think?
Positive.
Very good. All right, so positive is always red,
Yeah.
negative black, you know, on a car, but I say that that's a way too general of a statement. You have to look where they go, because sometimes people just use bulk cord, and this could be black also. So if you don't know, make sure your positive is always going to a starter solenoid, and your negative wire usually goes down to the engine block, which this one does. If you look down there on the side, you can see it. Look down there and see. And you'll know your negative goes on the block.
You can see it down there. So the red goes where? Starter.
Let's see.
Wait a minute.
All right, so you want to hook those up? Very good. So you're ahead of me. You're doing good. All right, hook up. All right, here's the thing though. If you touch both of these at the same time, guess what? You're going to get woke up. It doesn't, you know, sometimes it won't tingle too bad, but if you cross like a wrench across that, it will spark, it'll get hot, it'll make a big mess. So when the best thing to have done probably is to tighten one first, and then tighten the one furthest away from steel. So look, Preston, pay attention to this. So if I were to tighten, you have the negative on, you have the positive on. If I were to tighten this wrench and ground out against a frame, it would burn this wrench, and sometimes it would actually weld this wrench to the fender, and it would short the battery out, and then you have lots of problems. So just tighten that a little. It doesn't have to be Hong Kong. Oh, it's good. It don't have to be Hong Kong food. Oh, look what you just did. Yeah, stop. Reposition the wrench. That quick. You almost shorted that out. That would have been a real teachable moment. Okay. Good. Like that. Just turn it clockwise. Okay. Turn it till you hear it. Turn. So we're going to check the fire real quick. We'll see if it has any fire, okay? So when I tell you, turn the key. But don't touch anything else up there, okay?
Okay.
This is a cool tool from my old lawnmower days. I don't know, can you see it? It's a fire tester, spark plug tester. So it's seen better days, but usually you could just clip it on the block so it grounds out. You have to ground this and you plug the spark plug wire in it. So let's see. All right, actually I need to be letting you do this. So come here, Mama, you can do it. Well, no, she giving me the look. All right, come here. All right, just plug that in. All right, felt it click. We had to find, preferably on the engine block somewhere. You need to be able to see it when she's turning it over. All right. Okay, Madison. Bring the camera so you can. We'll see if the fire starts jumping, Presley. Can you see this thing down here? Okay. Go ahead and turn it over, sweetheart. Yeah. All right. Stop. No fire. So, come here, Presley. We still in? Yeah. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pop the distributor cap. You can turn the key off, sweetie. Make sure it's all straight up and down. All right. So what you do is you take your screwdriver and actually you put it right behind it and pop that little tang. And there's one on the other side too. You can pull it towards you. It might come off easier. No, that's it towards you. You're all right. It just snaps on. Let me show you how to do one side. Yep. And then right behind here is the second. All right, come here. Watch. There you go. All right. Now lift it out of the way. Well, this would be a good time to... Come here, Johnny. Get around here. This is a good time to talk about what that does. That's a distributor, okay? This is a coil, this is a distributor, this is your rotor button, these are your points, this is the condenser, all right? This engine will not crank until we see fire shoot across that spark plug.
Wait, like actual fire?
You'll see it looks like little bolts of lightning jumping around, okay? So what I feel like we need to do, since I have them, is replace the points and condenser. Condenser, and these are your points, okay? But when you start getting close, you need to get your other hand in there, sweetheart, and try to hold that screw so it doesn't fall down inside the distributor.
Okay.
And what you can do is when you feel it get loose, you can pick up on the condenser and just, there you go. Here, I'll take that. Thank you.
I'm trying to.
Here, let me see if I can loosen it for you. It might be in there. It's been in there a while. There we go. We probably need some light. There's a light on it.
It's not too bad.
Okay. 2 wires here. We just need to loosen this up so we can pull this wire loose, and then we can lift that whole assembly out. This needs to be loosened. That's all you need. And see, it just lifts off. Here's a set of points. This was actually in a box of parts that we got with the Bronco. Let's try it with a set of points first. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. You act like you're having just a ball, having a great time.
Nope.
All right, Presley. Just for the sake of me doing this real quick, I'm gonna just get them started. Okay, Presley, we've got the points in, and we're gonna have to turn the engine over. So this high point right here, if you see that there's 6 high points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This engine is a 6-cylinder engine. So each time it gets to a high point, it breaks the points, and it makes that cylinder fire, okay? So what we have to do now is we have to set our points gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a wrench, and I'm going to turn the engine to the high point, and then we'll set our points gap, and then we'll put it back together and see if we have fire.
The thing is like uneven. I'm thirsty. Okay, that's enough.
Try better screwdriver. Put your rotor button on and see that little flat spot?
Yes.
That flat spot goes into that flat spot. Should lock in place. I'll put your distributor cap back on. Put your distributor cap, there you go. It can only go one way. When you turn it, you'll feel it sort of locked. Twist it and make sure it gets locked in place first. See how it's sort of locked in now? Let's see if we have any fire. All right, watch it here, sweetie. No fire. Okay, so we didn't have fire. We checked the points gap. We didn't replace the condenser. I thought we had one, but we're going to go ahead and I have an extra coil, so we're going to switch to coil now. And I'm going to get Presley to do that. All right, I've already got the ground loosened up down here, so I'm going to let her get in here and get this done. Let's see, sweetie. Get that out for you. All right, let's get this pulled off. All right, see that bolt on the top?
This?
There's a bolt back there at the back. Yeah, you can pull this wire off. That's your positive wire. Okay. I guess I can say we checked it with a multimeter. This isn't a very good video. I should have showed you that. We do have power going to the positive side of the coil. Will that come out, or do we need to take it loose all the way out, sweetie? The bracket, do we need to take the bracket back here loose?
I don't know.
Probably, it would probably help. Turn it the other way. It's lefty loosey, remember?
Is that going to...
So go ahead and slide that one in. Let's see. You see the plus on it? Put the plus on the top side.
Here you go, Daddy.
Thank you, sweetie. Go ahead and turn it. Sweet. This is aggravation, okay? So, again, I'm in an estrogen ocean in my shop, and I'm learning to deal with it, and I'm trying to deal with squirrels that like to run in and out of my shop, and I just want the excitement.
Squirrel.
No, shut up, come here. Go to the squirrel.
Where's the other squirrel?
I got her.
No.
Come get the squirrel.
There's a
Show the
squirrel.
I'm going to edit this
There's
out.
the squirrel.
Squirrels.
I'm going to edit that out.
Where'd the furry squirrel go?
All right.
The
1 second.
The dog.
Quick. Squirrel 3. Squirrel.
Squirrel, I'm hoping.
She's a squirrel. Okay, so what we've done is we've been trying to figure out why we didn't have fire. We're using some used parts and trying not to do too much. So we've replaced the coil. We've put a set of points on it. We've set the points gap. I pulled the air filter off so we can get to the carburetor so I can spray some ether in it. Maybe it'll crank. Like I said, this is just, we're just shooting for the stars right now. So I'm gonna give it some ether. Make sure that thing is choked. All right, y'all ready?
Yep.
Everybody clear? Here goes nothing.
All right.
Who knows how many years?
She's alive.
Sounds good. I don't know how it's Definitely, man. I mean, can you see the spider eggs? The spider eggs? Look! Spider eggs. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Oh, yeah. Still for
We can't hear you.
alternator works. Oil pressure works. Let's see if it goes down after I switch it off. It does. Oil pressure works. Alternator works. Ridiculous. That is the coolest thing.